Streaming.
Hey y'all, it's time for science. It's one of those mornings, but you know what? We push through it. We know. I'm going to say something to you metaphorically. Above the clouds, there's always sun. So today, where it was raining and dreary, we know the sun is up there all the time, and so that's another way to have a positive outlook on life. Right above the clouds, the sun shines every day. So I had a video that I wanted you to watch. It's a 5-minute video. We are changing today science from uh, geology, and all of the studies of the earth to life science. So we will be looking at how life is formed, living things, organs and systems, and all that good stuff. But we started the bill at the beginning today, which is to talk about DNA. What is it? How does it work? After this class, if you watch that 5-minute video, I promise it will bring everything together. Um, and I don't want you to get bogged down in how this stuff seems complicated because there's a pattern. Mama Nature knew, and there's a pattern to this that you'll see here. And in most things, there's a pattern, there's a rhythm to it all. So let's take a first look. I've got this picture here. I'm going to share the screen. And the first picture that I want you to see is of an actual DNA molecule. All right, all right, all right, all right. Stop sharing. Stop sharing. Let's try it again. Scared. There we go. All right. Now, this is a picture of an actual DNA molecule. Notice how it twists and bends, and it forms what is referred to as a double helix. These are our amino chains. We're going to talk about that. What is she talking about? I don't know. And then the outline, the twist part that in which the information is contained is made mostly of sugar, glucose, and a mineral phosphorus. So let's go and let's begin our journey talking about DNA, how life begins. Um, I first want to share with you some vocabulary, um, and we will start by talking about a base, and that is the unit of DNA that forms the rungs of the ladder, the steps of the ladder. That is called the base. And then I'll show you a picture in a second. And we know what a cell is, hopefully, from science before. That's the smallest unit of life. And so in a membrane, you have a unit consisting of nucleic acid and cytoplasm, which is the stuff that gives the cell structure. And that is enclosed in a membrane. So it's the smallest unit of life. It can replicate or duplicate itself, the cell. So then we have DNA, which stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. What you need to remember about DNA is that that is a molecule that contains genetic information and is today the hereditary material for all living organisms. DNA, from a human to a bacteria to a virus, COVID virus, the DNA is changing in the COVID virus. Sometimes the virus is more infectious. Sometimes it's gives you worse infections. It can be more deadly. That is the DNA or the genetic information. The double helix, again, is the spiral or double spiral helix means the spiral or the twisted ladder shape of the DNA. Then we have a gene, and that is a hereditary unit, a portion of a chromosome that gives a code for a protein or a nucleic acid molecule. What does a gene determine? Well, for me, it determined that I would be short and have a gap tooth like other women in my mother's family. That's what's in my genes. It also can determine whether or not you're a carrier for certain diseases, such as breast cancer and other um, diseases that are carried through the generations. And then replicate is the genetic term for the duplication of DNA molecules. So replicate, duplicate. Just remember that. And then virulent is the term for an infectious disease that spreads or shows its impact very quickly, a very severe or harmful disease. And we are finding that the COVID-19 infection is a virulent disease and how it has spread um, and affected many people, in some cases, whole entire families. And that, my friends, is worse than the vaccine. Going to look at this image here, and really watching the video makes this all make sense. But I'm going to show you some handouts, and then you must, for your own sake of understanding, go back and look at this video, because we're going to keep talking about this. This is a big unit. It's important stuff. So, oh, that's tiny. Let's see if we can open this with Be Funky Photo Editor. That's crazy. All right. That is so little. All right. So, in the structure of our DNA, you have the double helix, okay? And we have our bases. They're based with nitrogen, and you're only going to see in these enzymes, they're only going to be paired with each other. Okay, so T is always paired with A. You can have TA or AT. And C is always paired with G. And then you can have CG or GC. Remember that, what I'm going to show you. And notice too that both sides are not equal. If we were to unspiral this bad boy, it's not all the same. And notice this is a major groove, and we would call this a minor groove, right? Minor groove. See this little twisting right here? And that's on that one sampling. Just showing you what it looks like right now. Okay, G is always paired with C, T is always paired with A. They can be reversed. These ladders are the same, sugar phosphate. That's the chemical composition. And then we have these bases, these enzymes that have the nitrogen base. That's what that means, and that's a little bit of chemistry. I don't know if you're coming in for the first time or not. We'll talk more. Don't worry, don't be scared. We're definitely talking more about this. And so now, finally, let's take a look at this handout, which is very helpful, which puts it all together. Okay, so look, DNA, can I make it a little bigger? Is built from nucleotides, which have a nitrogen base, okay, a sugar, and a phosphate. Now here you go with these, sugar and phosphate, right, on the exterior. And then we have our rungs of the ladder, and those are our bases. I was getting to it. Okay. So we have the nitrogen base, the sugar, and the phosphate. The nucleotides bind with each other, boom, boom, boom. See where they're bound to make our helix or the backbone. And these are strands of sugars and phosphate. Boom, boom, boom. Now the inside, remember that I said to you that they're only going to bind with one other always. So where you have adenine in green, it's only going to bind with thymine. Thymine. So AT, or it can be TA. Notice the colors are backwards, but they're not going to bind with the others. And then you have cytosine and thymidine in you. Those will only bind with each other. So cytosine is only binding with guanine. So look, cytosine, guanine, guanine, cytosine. So AT A only binds with T, C only binds with G. Then you have the sugar phosphate backbone in the base. And if you look, this is the double helix on the outside, on both sides. See that? Which is your nitrogen base, your sugar and your phosphate. There's your phosphate. There's your sugar. That's what the shape of a sugar molecule looks like. There's your phosphate molecule, and then your nitrogen base. Okay, both sides. Then you got AT, CG, and then you may have it reversed, TA and GC. GC. So let's look at this structure here. Number one. So you notice you have your nitrogen right there. How do I know that's nitrogen? I know that that's nitrogen because it says N, these are our nucleotides, our nitrogenous base. That's what it's called. Notice we have a phosphate, we have a sugar. So what is this called? This is a sugar here. This is our nitrogen here. Notice our nitrogen. And then we have our phosphate here. Then on the inside, we have, that's the nitrogen 2. See that right there? That's the nitrogen 2. That's our adenine. And adenine always binds with what? Thymine. So this is thymine. Notice we're on the inside now. And then on the inside again, we have the NH2O. This is cytosine because I'm looking at the molecules. And this is here, if we have cytosine, what's next to it is always going to be guanine, right? That's guanine. And these again, the little stars are our phosphates, our phosphates. So let me see if I can open with, ooh, I have no idea what is going to open this and make it look right. But I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to upload one that is filled in so that you can look at it. And right now you might be saying, what in the heck is she talking about? Go back and look. Look at this image. Look at the bases, the vocabulary I've placed here for you, and look at the video, or this is all going to be a foreign language. So let's make it easy. And after you've done all that, let me hear from you. Let me hear from you. Say, got it or no. That's all you got to say. Got it or no. That's all we have for today. I'm going to fill in this handout and upload that for you. And then I will see you tomorrow for writing. Everyone, be safe, be blessed. Take care.